Hi, I'm Zach Schrader, and this is my Battle of Crait made out of Lego. I tried to do something different than what I've seen from a lot of other Lego of Crait mocks. I tried to do some custom speeders that were more in scale with the custom walker that I built. I really wanted to capture the look of the speeders from the movie, so I added a couple extra details that aren't found in the Lego set, and I wanted to add some different colors just to give some variation. And then I wanted to add the black Kylo Ren shuttle because it's a very iconic scene in the movie with the color contrast on the whole planet and Salt Crait during the battle. I really liked the look of the black and the red, of course, in the movie. And then I also, of course, did a custom walker, which is one that you can see that's much bigger than the AT-ATs. In the movie, so I wanted to capture the size comparison. That's why I have the AT-AT in the mock as well. And then, of course, I did light everything on the mock to really add another level and layer to the mock. And then I went ahead and I added a lot of broken, salt and dirt from the planet around all the feet to add some more texture and detail to the mock. And of course, we have the footprints from the troops walking, because in the movie you see that when anybody walks on the planet, it leaves a red footprint where it wiped the salt away off the planet. So I tried to add that detail too. And then my friend Josh, who's also in my lug here, he helped me build a cannon for the mock, and we lit the barrel as well. And unfortunately, right now the battery ran out on the inside, but the inside cannon spins as well, and that's really cool. And a lot of people really appreciate that. And we also have the command center on that lit as well. And then in the movie, in the battle scene, the Falken shows up to help fight off all the TIE fighters that are attacking the speeders. So I wanted to capture that in the mock as well. So I also added the Falken above the Crait Mountain because it's such an iconic ship in the Star Wars movies, and in the scene when it's flying in to help save Crait from the TIE fighters that are taking over and attacking the ski speeders. It's a really great scene in the movie. I got Chewbacca piloting it, just like in the movie, and I tried to do some flashing lights for cannon fire and the engine to kind of show some detail on that as well. I really liked how the trenches ended up coming out. I did some grading, and I did a lot of detail work to kind of show the rock and the broken look of the trenches in the movie. I do have tunnels. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get tunnels all the way through the whole mock and have a side cutout. That would have been a really cool level. Maybe next year, always. But I really liked how I was able to get the troops lined up at a good height on the mock, which of course required the whole mock to be raised up quite a bit, but it was worth it in the end, I think, for the overall look of it.
Right. What is that like underneath there to get the whole build raised up? What kind of sort of filler brick did you go with?
I went ahead and used regular Lego brick instead of Duplo or something like that. I did stacks of brick probably about every 3 to 2 inches. There's a stack of bricks up, and then it's mostly done with 2x2 bricks for the bottom of the stack, and then a 2x4 brick at the top to hold up most of it. The surface is done plated with 4x6 plate. I found a lot of that on the pad wall at the time, and so I went ahead and had 4x6 red plate underneath all of the white that you see done for the salt technique.
And then you've got the giant mountain, which is certainly another iconic part of Crait. So talk about both kind of the rockwork as well as the large gate itself.
Sure. I was really worried about how that was going to come together when I was building. I had no idea how fast that was going to come together. The wall itself came together actually very quickly. I was able to come up with a really fast skeleton design in the back. I know for some high structures, a lot of people use Technic. I was actually able to get away with using all just regular brick and not having to do a ton of filler brick in there. I was able to do a technique where I have these 2x4 bricks spacing out the slope bricks, and on the back of those I have bricks holding up as a structure brick on the back, and it connects all the way up the wall, kind of like a staircase, a backward staircase all the way up the wall. And then the rockwork, is a little bit more structured on the inside, but on the outside I wanted to really include the look of the salt kind of growing and collecting on the rock as it was blowing over time, and then of course the iconic red from the movie. The contrast between the red and the white is such an important part of that scene in the movie, and I really wanted to capture that in every aspect on the mock.
And that contrast is, I think, what really makes Crait builds like this stand out so much and are so cool to look at because of that, the bright white and the bright red that really stand out.
Yeah, and I think that another thing that helps with that, of course, is when I did the red lighting. That was so important to me to do red lighting on a lot of it. I mean, it is that way in the movie, of course, but the red lights help bring out that pop against the white, because when the crowd is looking at it from over there and they look in at it, they see that white backdrop on all of the bright red, and it looks really nice.
And that lighting definitely makes a lot of this stand out as well. So talk about how you incorporated that in there and what are some of the things you kind of learned along the way that you might be able to tell other people that want to add some lighting to their builds.
Sure. So the hardest lighting to add, of course, was I think the cannon fire on the ATM-6 over there. Because the hardest thing, I guess, with lighting is to hide wiring always. You have to try to find a clever way to hide the wiring. And when it's all the way out there in a brick, you have to try to find a way to run the wire back all the way up through the build and try to keep it concealed. So the biggest, I guess, suggestion I can give to people who want to incorporate wiring is try to plan ahead with your build. If you think you're going to incorporate lighting into the build ahead of time, before you know you're going to get started, try to keep that in mind when building the build. I didn't know I was going to add campfire. I knew from the get-go I wanted to do interior lighting and I wanted to do the cockpit in red, so I kind of had a planned path for where I was going to run wire through the whole build. And then for the cannon fire came later, but I was able to run it through some Technic spacers and stuff like that to help give it a really hidden look throughout the build.
And then the big lighting inside the cannon here as well, how did that work?
The cannon lighting, luckily with the cannon, we were able to get away with just a really hollow skeleton on the inside using a lot of Technic. And then the lighting itself was able to all be set up behind the cannon barrel there. And then we were able just to run the wires behind the brick right up onto the inside of the cannon to give it the really nice lighting effect. And then with the motor, we were able to put that back inside the skeleton as well. So that really helped. The size of the cannon definitely lends itself to being able to put in a lot of motors. And actually right here is Josh. He's the one who designed the cannon and helped build it all.
Great. Yeah, and it did an excellent job on that part as well. So then when you bring this to the show, what's your setup process like as you're getting this ready to display to the public?
The setup process was pretty quick. I was able to break it down and put it in crates. So this came in a huge, the mountain itself pulls apart from the rest of the build, and it goes in a giant wooden crate that I was able to build. And then all of these sections here break down into the 48 by 48 base plate, Lego base plate sections, besides that side, which has a couple of the 32 by 32. But it breaks down and it's held together by Technic pins, just like a modular building would be on the bottom. So it all clips together and comes together really fast, actually, at the show. The biggest thing, of course, is getting the mountain here, because it has a lot of weight to it with all the brick inside of it.
Right. You got to be careful that doesn't all crumble apart when you're coming to the show.
Actually, we had quite a scare when we unpackaged it from the box. We saw that part of the front of the wall had caved in slightly, and that was definitely a scare for everyone. But we were able to get it back together in time for the show.
There you go. And I think Josh just added a motor into the cannon there. So is it working now?
It is not spinning right this second. I don't know if he turned it on. I can tell him, Josh, it is not quite spinning yet here. It is not.
This is the challenges of adding lights and motor action.
Motor action, always. There we go. It was stuck a little bit. So now we've got it spinning in there. It looks a lot better with it spinning, I think, and it adds a lot of detail to the cannon. It looks really nice overall with the build.
Right, it definitely adds some nice detail there. So excellent work with this. I think you captured Crait really well, and adding all the lights and the action like the spinning cannon certainly make it different than some of the Crait builds we've seen in the past. So
Yes,
good work.
That was a big goal for me. I knew that a lot of people were going to be building this, of course. Everybody wants to build the big battle scene in the new Star Wars movie. And I had to work on this for close to 2 years just collecting bricks. And it was always a challenge. You know, what can I do differently? What can I do to separate myself? And that's, again, why I went with some of the custom speeders to match some more scale. And we wanted to do a cannon because I haven't seen very many cannon builds. So we thought that was really important to capture the look of the cannon on Crait, too, because that thing is just massive in the movie.
Exactly. Thank you so much for bringing it out to the show here.
No problem. Thank you for coming over to check it out.